When we think about the kingdom, most brothers think of like the small, minute terms. But the vastness of the kingdom, the greatness of the kingdom, dealing with the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and the information alone that we're going to receive when we get to the kingdom. That's on a whole nother level. Never mind the riches and the lands and the women and the children, and be in your chariot, sipping some yayan, on your chalice, your gold chalice with all them rubies and emeralds and sapphires and the different precious stones, going to places.
But as it is written, I have not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit.
The brother with the most vivid imagination out there can't imagine what the kingdom of heaven has in store, what it's going to be like. What we're basing the kingdom of heaven as far as riches and having a good time and things of that nature is just based off of our experiences in this world and what we think having a good time is and living the life is.
But as it is written, I have not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit.
No one, no matter how vivid a brother's imagination is, there's nothing in comparison to what's coming. You can't even imagine that. You can't even paint into picture or write into words or give an explanation that even comes close to the majesty that's coming. We are destined for greatness in the new righteous kingdom.
But as it is written, I have not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Shah. All right, with GMS Mississippi camp on the brother Yashima, and to my left,
and the brother Ainaf.
And what we're going to get into today is a lesson, inspired by Elder Apostle Tahar. Watching one of his videos from earlier, he made a reference, to the prophecy in Isaiah 45, and how it differs, from John 3:16, in which we know John 3:16 was a stronghold within Christianity, and they used that to try to include, everyone within, the promises, all right, that were only made to Israel, So we're going to deal with that John 3:16 first, all right, and then we're going to deal with the word world, all right, in Isaiah 45, which we know the word world in the in John 3:16, is dealing with the Greek cosmos, and the word world, in the Hebrew in Isaiah 45 and 17 is okamine, all right, which goes back into an age, so the word world, it's referring to the same people, but different context. So we're going to get into it. Let's see. So we'll get this first in John 3:16.
A precept for you too.
What you got, bro?
No, after the
No,
John.
but I'll get this. I'm gonna go do a whole screen precept. So what you
9 and 4. Romans 9 and 4. You stated the word world goes into cosmos, and it'll go, and once you get it, you'll see that it says that who the Lord have that agreement or that constitution, also going into that covenant with. And this is what the Apostle Paul had to say here in the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 4. It says, who are the Israelites to whom pertain the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of the Most High and the promises. So when we go into that word world here in a second, when you see that it means cosmos, who the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah had that agreement with, Apostle Paul just told us who the Lord has that agreement with.
Because they covenants, concerning the old and the new, okay? Because there's the old and the new covenant, but the agreement, all right, the parties, between, okay, the Heavenly Father and the children of Israel, okay? Now there's a different mediator, but it's the same people, all right? And we're coming into the same covenant, except in this covenant we change, and that's going to activate, all right, the new covenant in which we're going to be that age without end as we're going to go into. All right. So let's go into St. John 3. All right, you read, bro.
Because the book of St. John chapter 3, verse 16, it says, for the Most High so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Yeah, so for the longest, under the doctrine of Christianity, this was a rallying flag, and under Jesus Christ, okay, everybody can come under this banner. Everyone was loved, okay, by the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, through this Jesus Christ character. But no, once you start to go into words and then we deal with the whole narrative of the scriptures, well, now we have to understand this. And see, Christians can't even bring this out anymore because it's been, their false interpretation has been confounded. So now let's deal with this word world, okay, in the Greek. Okay, so you go here, all right, to let's get this word in the Greek, which is Strong G 2889. All right, and then the word is cosmos.
Okay. Strong's G 2889, cosmos. Cosmos.
All right, which goes into what? All right, an apt and harmonious arrangement or constitutional order or government. Okay, so when you see that word cosmos, okay, in the New Testament, it's speaking of, all right, the government of Israel, the people, all right, the harmonious arrangement, all right, the nation of Israel. That's the world whom Yahweh Shai, okay, died for, okay, to forgive Israel for their sins. You see, you had something there.
They were going off.
Yeah. So let's go from there, all right, and let's deal with other precepts that have that same word. So when you go here to 2 Corinthians, let you know, okay, 2 Corinthians 5. All right, you read verse 18.
Because it's 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 18. And all things are of the Most High, who have reconciled us to himself by Yahweh Shai HaMashiach.
Go ahead.
And had given to us the ministry of reconciliation.
Yeah, so look up the word reconciliation in the
Edamon.
You look up in the Edamon. Okay. So all things are the Most High who have reconciled us. So they're speaking to a specific audience, which is that world, that cosmos of Israel. And the next scripture is going to plainly say it. All right, but let's deal with this word reconciliation, because the only way you can be reconciled to something is if you was joined to it once before. Okay, so you got it, bro.
This is that word reconciliation in the Edomite. It says renewal of friendship after disagreement or in enmity.
Enmity, yep.
Action after reaching according with an adversity or one estranged.
Yeah, so renewal of friendship after disagreement or enmity.
Reestablishing.
Reestablishing what? Okay, the peace between the nation of Israel and the Most High, which is Yahushua, is that mediator of that peace. Okay, that's why one of Yahushua's titles is known the Prince of Peace. So in order to be reconciled, well, you had to be joined, okay, with, all right, the Heavenly Father. And he never dealt. Matter of fact, let's get two precepts real quick. You got it, bro.
It gave me the root word reconcile. All right, it says to restore the union of friendship after estrangement or variance. It says also of the Most High or Hamashiach, restore to favor or grace, to bring together again, regain, win over again, or reconcile.
Yeah. So when you go into this precept, you read this Psalms 147:19 verse 20.
This is Psalms 147, starting at verse 19. He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
Go ahead.
He had not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah.
So he plainly said that he has not dealt so with any other nation. You see, we're going to get precepts to show that he hasn't dealt with any other nation, showing that he dealt with Israel exclusively. Okay, and you can't deny it. So the only nation that can be reconciled is the nation that he dealt with exclusively, man. So we're just going to get a line of precepts to show that he exclusively, deals with Israel. Let's go with the Joel chapter 2. Let's get this in verse 27. Let's read that.
This is Joel 2:27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah, your power, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed.
Yeah, so the Lord constantly states that he's exclusively dealing with Israel. Okay? Like we went into the other day. Let's get this as we there. Go to the next chapter. All right? Read Joel 3:16.
This is Joel chapter 3, verse 16. The Lord Yahweh Shema Shah also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel.
Yeah, so this is during the time of this Third World War. So showing you that their relationship, that exclusive relationship that the Lord has with Israel, well, it never changed. And we was put away, for disobedience. But through Yahushua, we've been reconciled. Okay? And ultimately that blood, all right, this is the purpose that blood was shed for this time. Okay? Because you had a moment when, through the teaching of the apostles back then, the church was revived. All right? The Israelite foreigners that were scattered and Hellenized and calling themselves Greeks and, looked at as the uncircumcised and the heathen, they came back. Okay? But there wasn't the time of the end. See, now we're in the time of the end where we're being gathered, we're being reconciled to be delivered. Okay? So let's get another precept to show that the Lord only exclusively dealt with Israel. So that's the only nation that can be reconciled. There's only one possible nation, okay, to be reconciled, and that's the nation of Israel. So let's get this in 2 Samuel 7. And they read 23.
This is 2 Samuel chapter 7, verse 23. It says, and what one nation in the earth is like thy people, even like Israel, whom the Most High went to redeem for a people to himself and to make him a name, and to do for you great things and terrible for thy land, before thy people, which thou redeemest to thee from Egypt, from all the nations and the gods.
So what one nation in the earth is like thy people, even Israel? All right, read verse 24.
Verse 24. But thou hast confirmed to thyself thy people Israel to be a people unto thee forever,
Go ahead.
and thou, Lord Yahweh Shema Shah, art become their power.
Yes. So those precepts show you that he's exclusively dealing with Israel. So going back to 2 Corinthians 5, all right, and 18, let's read it again, and then we're going to go into verse 19.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 18. All things are of the Most High, who have reconciled us to himself by Yahweh HaMashiach, and have given to us the ministry of reconciliation.
Yeah, so the prophets, all right, that the Lord has raised up, has given us the ministry of reconciliation, all right, because when we're teaching, the target audience is the elect, okay, and the elect are being reconciled, which is what being brought back into favor after a disagreement. You see, because before we came into the truth, our life was in complete disagreement to Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, but it's through the ministry, okay, that we become reconciled. Okay, so read verse 19.
Verse 19, it says, to wit, that the Most High was in Hamashiach, reconciling the world unto himself, and not imputing their trespasses unto them, imputing their trespasses unto them, and have committed unto us the world of reconciliation.
Yeah, so let's get this word world, all right, which is going to be the same, okay, word that we read in, we see that, Strong G 2889, all right, cosmos, which goes into the same, all right, definition and apt or harmonious arrangement or constitution, order, or government. Okay, so it's through, all right, Yahushua and his sacrifice that the world, the people of Israel, all right, their harmonious arrangement, okay, their order, their government, was reconciled back to the Heavenly Father. So this John 3:16, okay, is speaking of, all right, the world, the cosmos, you see, of Israel. Okay, you had some.
Going into just proving how the Lord only dealt with the nation of Israel. I got the Amos and I got the procured treasure. Whichever one you want to get. Amos 3, 1 and 2.
Amos
chapter 3.
You got it, bro.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 3, verses 1 and 2. It says, here is the word of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Yeah, and that family, represents the world of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
The cosmos, that's their family. You see, because a family is you go into the original structure of a family, where the family is supposed to be a harmonious arrangement. You see, that's why you had the order of the father, all right, the woman, then the children. Well, that's when you operate in that order under Yahweh Shem Al Shah, well, that's a harmonious, okay, arrangement. Look that up on chat, see what it say.
Harmonious arrangement.
Yeah, the harmonious arrangement. See where it going to. All right. All right. See, give us some. Let's see. Mm-hmm. So, um, so it says a harmonious arrangement. When you go to the chat, just to read it real quick, it says harmonious. It said things that go together well without conflict, in agreement or unity. It says the way things are organized, placed to order. Okay? So when you go into the nation of Israel, the way the Lord has set up the order, it was meant, for us to be in agreement. Okay? Because even when we go into a covenant, the Lord had made a harmonious, okay, covenant with us, man, to where we was in agreement, all right, with our power. And he was in agreement with us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But the conflict came when what? When we, all right, didn't uphold our deal to that harmonious agreement. Okay? So,
Can I go to the example, bro?
which one?
The first one. Because that makes sense. Where it says it used music as an example. Because it says things that go well together without conflict and agreement or unity. And if you've ever been, in a band or some form of an orchestra, anything where there's different instruments playing, if everybody is on that same key, in that agreement to the composer, and then the composer in this case is Yahweh Shema Shah. If everybody is in agreement and all the instruments is on that same key like they're supposed to, everything gonna sound great. It's
Mm-hmm.
gonna sound. It's gonna give you that harmony.
Mm-hmm.
So if one person decides to play off a different key, it's gonna mess the whole thing up.
And that
So,
harmony was the law, man.
mm-hmm.
Was that wisdom. All right. Would you just read Deuteronomy 4 and 5?
First Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5, it says, Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord Yahweh Shema my power commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it.
Go ahead.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, Surely this great nation is wise. Saka is a wise and understanding people.
Yeah, so the law, all right, was based off the wisdom of Yahweh Shema Shai, and it was meant to keep us, harmonious as a people. Okay? But as we strayed away, from that, we went into chaos. Matter of fact, get that in Baruch, and then we'll segue into Isaiah 45 dealing with the world. So let's get this in the book of Baruch, chapter 3, showing you that wisdom, the understanding the law, statutes, and commandments, which the law, statutes, and commandments is the wisest way to run the government in the earth, and we was privy to that, because you had other governments in the earth, okay, but Israel was given the wisdom, just like Adam was given that breath, okay, to run the earth in the beginning. Well, Israel was given, okay, the understanding, the Most High's wisdom, okay, in the format of the law, which the law was just the beginning of the Most High's wisdom, okay, because of the wisdom of the Most High go way beyond, all right, 613 laws, okay, but that's why this whole book is full of precepts of practical wisdom that we can apply, all right, real time today, and then the law was the foundation of that wisdom, for sovereignty, running the government, family structure, and civil law, agriculture, economy, you know. Read verse 9, Baruch 3 and 9.
Okay, this is the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 9. Hear, Israel, the commandments of life, give ear to understand wisdom.
Yep, the commandments of life. Give ear to understand wisdom. The same thing which was given to us in Deuteronomy 4. Okay, go ahead.
Come, verse 10. It says, How happened in Israel, it's like how happeneth in Israel, that thou art in thine enemy's land, for thou art waxen old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead.
Yeah, so whenever we stray away, okay, from the wisdom of Yahweh by Shema Shai, okay, we will be in the dead state. We will end up in captivity, all right, and we'll end up in the spiritually dead state. Okay, and this is the last example of that, because the book of Baruch was written, all right, to the captives in the Neo-Babylonian Empire, you know, which the Southern Kingdom, okay, was captives at that time. You see, go ahead.
Verse 11, it says that thou art counted with them that go down into the grave.
Yep, go ahead.
Thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom.
Have forsaken the fountain of wisdom. Go ahead.
For if thou hast walked in the way of the Most High, thou shouldest have dwelled in peace forever.
Thou should have dwelt in peace forever. We should have been harmonious. Okay. We would have dwelt in peace forever. If we would have obeyed, you know. But the Lord had to play out because we had to get, you know, this experience from this side, you know, as a captive, you know, to be those perfect and balanced rulers of righteousness. You see, but just shows you that what the ways of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, all right, produce peace. It produces harmony. Okay, everything is so chaotic now because we left. Okay, the way of our power. You know, we left the way that the Lord prescribed us to be in the earth. Okay, and we entered into complete chaos and dysfunction, man. You know, what we see today. All right, you read verse 14, then we get that.
Verse 14. Learn where is wisdom, where is strength, where is understanding, that thou mayest know also where is length of days and life, where is light of the eyes and peace.
Yep, the light of the eyes and peace, man. You know, and this goes back driving home the point of you know, the Lord gave us instructions that would have had us, you know, to be that continual harmonious people. All right, that cosmos. Okay. So now let's go to Isaiah 45:7, you know, and just get a couple precepts to drive home the point, all right, of us being, all right, that everlasting world without end. Okay, so let's go into it. You can read that, bro. 45:17.
This is Isaiah 45:17. It says, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, with an everlasting covenant.
Yep.
Ye shall not be ashamed, nor confounded world without end.
So now this one, it says you should not be ashamed. Okay. You shall or nor confounded world without end. So this is showing, all right, first off, he's addressing Israel. That's the context. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with the everlasting salvation, because salvation is what? Deliverance from harm or injury. So the destruction is coming, the judgment, the wrath of the Lord, because we're being saved from his wrath. All right. Esau, Edom is a part of the Lord's wrath. The way Esau finna turn, the way the Lord finna turn Esau loose on niggas, well, that's the Lord's wrath towards niggas, man. Okay. So Esau is just a part of the Lord's wrath. So all the judgment that's coming, the teeth of wild beasts, the pestilence, the famine, all right, Esau, Jacob's trouble, World War III, okay, all that is a part of the Lord's anger, all right, towards this age, okay, but there's a remnant of Israel that's going to be saved, it's going to be delivered, okay, from the Lord's anger. You see, even when you go into Zephaniah 13:8, when it says, I will bring the third part through the fire, where you look in that word fire in the Hebrew, it's ash, which means what? The Lord's anger. One of the definitions is the anger of the Lord. Okay, so there's a remnant, okay, that's going to be preserved from the Lord's anger. And see, once we're delivered this time, it's going to be everlasting. We're going to be forever, all right, protected from harm or loss or danger. It's going to be forever, because we had temporary salvation before. You go to the book of Judges, okay, during the time of Joshua, those were temporary salvations. But see, this one's going to be everlasting, all right? And within this everlasting salvation, we're going to set up, okay, a world or age without end. So when you go here, because it said you should not be ashamed, because we're not going to be ashamed for our faith in these promises, man. Or in the word ashamed goes into disappointed, Let's get this word ashamed real quick, and then we get that word. We get that word world. All right, which in the Hebrew is bahash. Okay, bahash. All right, which means what? It says to be put to shame, to be ashamed, to be disconcerted, to be disappointed. You see, we're not going to be disappointed. All right, at the promises that Yahweh Bashim Al Shah is going to bring to the earth. We're not going to be ashamed in what we believe in. You see, everyone of this age is going to be ashamed. Okay, if you're a nigga that hope America keep going, well, you're going to be ashamed. You're an Edomite, and your hope is in America rebounding. Okay, the glory years of America. If that's your hope, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be ashamed. Okay, now let's go into this word world. All right, well, this is a different context because cosmos was speaking of the people. Now this is speaking of an age of the actual kingdom itself. Okay, so you go into the Hebrew word, which is awalam. All right, awalam. All right, you see the Hebrew I. All right, Y. All right, la. All right, and then ma makes the M sound, so you get the awalam. Okay, in the Hebrew, and then you got the awalam ya. All right, which is your world, you know, or my world. Okay, so let's read that when it says a long duration, antiquity, forever, forever, ever, everlasting, evermore, perpetual. Okay, or ever. You see, and then it says what? A continuous existence, everlasting, indefinite, or unending future eternity. Okay, so this is the difference between, all right, the promise. I mean the blessing that was given to Esau, because he was given the fatness of the earth and the sword, but see, he wasn't promised, all right, a eternal, a continuous existence as a ruler. You know,
that says perpetual.
mm-hmm.
And right here in the Google, the word perpetual means never ending or changing.
Yep.
And then it says endless and uninterrupted.
Yep. So let's get some precepts that go into, all right, this everlasting kingdom. You know, we're just gonna get a line of precepts to bag up their point. This is Daniel 2:44. You got it, bro.
Daniel 2:44. It says that in the days of these kings shall the Most High, shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people.
So the kingdom shall never be destroyed and shall not be left to other people, showing you that it's exclusive for that cosmos of Israel. Go ahead.
But it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
Yeah, so that's all. That's why Yahweh Shai is coming. All right, and John the Revelator seen him with many crowns, because he's coming to take away all authority from the earth, man. Beginning with Esau, okay, and all these vassals. All right, these heathen nations that's under Esau. Yahweh Shai coming to take all that authority and to establish an everlasting kingdom. You see, and that's the big difference between the blessing of Esau, okay, and the blessing of Jacob. Because right now Esau has everything, but what is he trying to tap into now? Immortality. But that's not for him. Okay, so that's why one of the main things when the scriptures go in the Psalms, why do the heathen rage and imagine a vain thing? Okay, well, one of the vain things is that Esau thinks that he's going to tap into immortality on the left hand side. That's not for him. That's only for one cosmos of people, and that's Israel, man. Okay, so let's get this one, Daniel 7 and 13. Okay. Oh, you got it, bro.
Because this is Daniel chapter 7, verse 13. It says, I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, going to the chariots. It says, and came the Ancient of Days, who was the Father, and they brought him near before him.
So this is Yahweh Shai being brought to the Father. Okay. So Yahushua is being brought back to the Father. This is after he's resurrected, in Acts. All right. What happened? The angel came and took Yahushua away, okay, from the apostles. Okay. And where did they take him to? They took him back to the Father. Because what did Yahushua say? It is finished. Okay. Because Yahushua had to earn the kingdom. You see? That's why he had to drink of that cup. That's why he had to sacrifice. He had to deny himself every day. Okay. All the way into the cross. You see? But he understood, all right, hey, everything was at hand. This everlasting kingdom was at hand. So he was tapped in. He was locked in. Okay. Even real quick, you can go to a parable. Okay. Because when you go into the parables of the talents, all right, just to bag up this. All right, to link it up. This is Luke. When you go to Luke 19, okay. We can read 11 and 12, the point of 12.
This is the book of Luke chapter 19, starting at verse 11. It says, and as they heard these things, he added and spake a parable, because he was nigh to Jerusalem, and because they thought that the kingdom of the Most High should appear immediately after.
Yeah, so they was thinking the kingdom was going to be established then. That's why even the book of Acts will say, "Will thou now restore the kingdom unto Israel?" And if the kingdom wasn't only for Israel, why wasn't the apostles, the disciples, who later became apostles? Why didn't the Messiah check them? Okay, he specifically asked, "Will thou restore the kingdom unto Israel?" Okay, because that's who the kingdom is for. You see, so he's going to go into a parable, and it's describing what we're going to read. Okay, with the prophecy of Daniel 7, all right, and 14. Because now when we go back to Daniel 7 and 14, it's going to describe, okay, where Yahushua went to get. Go ahead.
Sure. It's verse 12. It says, and he said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return.
And that nobleman is who? Yahushua. And he went to the far country, the spiritual realm, to receive a kingdom from who? The Most High. He received the authority and the power to rule in the everlasting kingdom. That was part of the joy that was set before him. He endured the cross. Matter of fact, let's read that. Then we're going to go back to Daniel and tie it all in. All right. Hebrews 12 and 2. Yeah, bro.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2. Look unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High.
Yeah, so he endured the cross, despising the shame, because he knew that an eternal kingdom, a perpetual kingdom, was at stake. Okay, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High. So this was a joy that was set before Yahushua, because he knew once he finished his course, okay, this is what he was going to get. All right, Daniel 7 and 14. You got it, bro.
This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 14. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed.
So this is what Yahushua went to receive, and this is what he's bringing back to the earth, is an everlasting kingdom. All power is given to him to establish an everlasting kingdom. This is what we're a part of. Okay, and we can end it here in Revelations 2 and 25 and 26. You see? So this everlasting kingdom, all right, our lump, all right, this everlasting age is for who? The cosmos of Israel. Okay, so it's going to be an everlasting world age, okay, for the world, the cosmos of Israel. You see? So let's get that. We in here, Revelation 2 and here read 25 or 26.
This is Revelation chapter 2, starting at verse 25. but that which ye have already hold fast till I come.
Yep. So what do we have? We have faith in these promises, man. Okay.
Comforter.
We have the comfort of the scriptures of these prophecies.
Mhm.
Okay, so we have to hold fast what during the time of tribulation. We're gonna have to keep the faith, all right, in the worst time ever. We're gonna have to believe in the victory, even though when we can't see the victory, man. But we have to know that He is, and we have to know Yahweh Shai, He's the deliverer. Okay, so we have to hold fast. What we have to hold it down till He come. This is Yahweh Shai telling us, look, hold it down till I come, because He's coming to bring that everlasting age of Israel. And when He comes back and conquers the earth, what is He going to do? Go ahead.
Come. Verse 26, and it says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works until the end, to him I will give power over the
To
nations.
him that overcoming. Okay, and we went into it the other day. All right, what's the main thing that we're going to overcome? Okay, is the hour of temptation.
Mhm.
Okay, the MOTB, the time which is going to try the world. All right, and this grace period is for us to become. Is for us to overcome ourselves, because that's going to be the biggest component. All right, in the hour of temptation is overcoming us. That's why this grace period is about overcoming us. You see, we got to conquer ourselves within this grace period, and then Esau won't have no leverage on us. But if we haven't overcame us, Esau won't have all the leverage, man. You know, so us overcoming and getting to, all right, the everlasting kingdom, that age where it begins with us overcoming, all right, ourself, the flesh, the lust, okay, and constantly submitting more and more to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Look at the reward.
Mhm.
Okay, if the reward itself don't motivate you, there's nothing that can be told to you. There's nothing that can be showed to you. If the reward itself don't motivate you, man, you know, you got it, bro.
Verse
Read 27.
227, the water. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron.
That's these heathen nations. Go ahead.
And the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my father.
Even as I received of my father. You see that? Because remember, Yahweh Shai went and received, all right, dominion, authority, a kingdom. It should never be he received all that from the Father when he went back. Okay, so when he comes back, and those that have overcome, all right, his brethren that have overcame, he's going to promote them, okay, to rulership, man, in his age, in the everlasting age of Israel, man. Okay, like El Zahab always say, we got one time to beat those joint air. This is the one opportunity we got, man. Okay, so with this one opportunity, man, the Lord, all right, He's requiring us to tap in. You see, so you know, Lord will, all right, you brothers and you sisters, edify once again. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great example to which younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully. Shalom.
Shalom.